Hello everybody, Angie here, coming on to start my next project. I've been trying to sit here over the last few days trying to decide what I'm going to call it. It's definitely going to be a journal, but not just your traditional journal with one or two signatures. It's going to be a combination journal, lap book, travel journal, kind of like with all the different trifolds and the pockets and the layers. This is definitely going to be a labor of love. It's going to take some time. I have no idea how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to structure it, what I'm going to use on it, but I'm just going to take an arsenal of bits and pieces that I think will function well together and try my best to come up with just a beautiful piece, a beautiful book to carry around, to use, to journal in, to write in, whatever we want to use it for, whether it be, it's gonna, I'm hoping by the time we're done, it's gonna have a whole bunch of different layers and flips and pockets and different things for it. So that's why I want to call it, it's going to be a journal, and I want to put a signature in there, but it's also going to be more like a lap book type thing, like a file folder lap book type book as well. So I'm going to intertwine the two and come up with something really lovely, I hope. With that being said, I'm still trying to get through bits and pieces of papers that I have from kits and paper pads and things like that I just have ones and twos and threes of that I'm trying to use up. Okay. Do not ask me where these kits and these pieces came from. Honestly, they're bits and pieces from anywhere from 2 days ago to 2 years ago. I honestly do not know and cannot remember. But I just pulled out some pieces that I thought have some generally good feel colors to them that they might lay together well in a project. Okay, so I'll quickly flip through the papers with you, and then I'll show you what I kind of have in mind. Okay, so here's just, these are freebies that I got off Facebook. They are kits, leftover kits that I've gotten off of Etsy. Just total random pieces. A lot of these pieces, like something like this, I keep and I think, oh, that would be a good piece to use as a base for a collaging, stuff like that. So I am just gonna kind of wing it here and just kind of let my mind and what I feel guide me into the direction that I want to go in. Okay, as you can see, there's a little bit of everything, but there's a lot of earth tone colors, a lot of creams and beiges. Now this one I know because it has a name. This came from Tracy Fox, a kit that I got from her, just a couple leftover pieces from a kit, and then some other pieces that I thought might go in well because I don't want them all to be the same size. I want to add some vibrance and some color and some texture. So here's a piece of green. It's got dots. This one like a honeycomb design. This one, and they're just pieces. Okay, here's a couple that I really like that color. I don't know what you want to call that. Maybe almost a, I don't know. Look at this yumminess. I had this piece, and if you can see that shine, little shine on the page. I don't know if you could pick that up, but there's some yumminess there. A couple 12 by 12 pieces of vintage designer series paper here. And look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That's pretty. And this one's two-sided. So just a bunch of random papers that I think when we put it all together, and we're gonna pull out the whole arsenal on this project. I'm thinking combination of different textures and papers to possibly acrylic paints, possibly the inks, maybe some gesso with some stenciling. I mean, we're going to have some metal hardware, I'm thinking, because I want it to be a nice sturdy piece. We're going to bring in some metal hardware. I mean, I don't know where I'm going. Lace, if we want to do lace, if we want to do ribbon. I mean, it's going to be, we're going to pull out all the stops on this one. It's going to take some time. It's definitely going to be a labor of love. You probably will not see every little step on camera because it's going to be so time consuming, and because I don't know where I want to go from day to day. But I will try to prepare my best prior to getting on the video so I can explain step by step as I go along with you guys. So I hope you will come along with me on this journey and see what we came up with. Okay, now for structure, I have 1.5 pieces of file folio, one full one, and then like, well, about 2/3 of one. I have a scrap piece of medium weight chipboard, kind of, so to speak. This was a piece of like a little bit sturdier than construction paper. It came when you buy a shirt, you know how they put it in the little sleeve to keep the shirt from getting all wobbly. I had that, and I obviously cut a piece off for something, so I got that out. And then I have a manila folder here. I thought that would be good to go in this project. The only thing that I am missing is maybe a an envelope with a plastic window. I thought that would be good for a project like this, but I don't have any on hand. But I haven't checked them. The mail hasn't run yet today. So between today and tomorrow, I'm sure I'll get some mail, and one of them will have an envelope, and I'll recycle one of those, and I'll bring that into this project as well. But with that, I'm hoping that will be enough to come up with a really nice project. Okay, so with that being said, I thought we'd kind of lightly get started. Of course, these are probably going to be used as the base. But from there, I honestly don't know where I want to go with this. I do know I want to have a signature in there, and I want to have a lot of flips. I want to have a lot of folds. I want to have a lot of space for writing, for tucking in, whether it be a grocery list, whether it be, you know, whether it's something that you want to carry in your car and keep it in, you know, for work, anything. I want it to be very functional and very practical. I want it to be sturdy. I want it to be a good size, but not too big. Okay? So, enough talking. Let's see what we can come up with. Let's start with this smaller size. We have got, and I'm just going to measure it from this part. I'm not going to count that edge, that flap, to here, and see what we're dealing with here. And we've got about 17 inches by 9 inches. So the 9 inches is good. Okay, because our pages are 8.5, so that will be perfect. Let's see if we connect these two, but then we have that little issue there, and that issue there. If we go this way, then we'll have that issue there. So we go on the inside again, then we're going to have a little bit of an overlap there. Okay, I wonder, so it's not too bulky. Let me line this up. Pardon my head, guys, for a second. I try to line that up, and I use a pencil. I thought I had one here. There we go. Because I don't want that double thickness right there. I think that might be a little thick. So let me do like that and just trim that little bit away. And if I trim it right on the line, hopefully they'll almost interlock like the top. Just like so. Pretty good. That's pretty darn good. But I can't see. Let me try it this way just so I can see, make sure this edge is lining up as well before I tape it together. And I'm going to use my grid and get it along that line there. And it looks to me like this one's a little bit high, even though these, and no two file folders are exactly alike either, so we've got to take that into consideration Well, I say we will lock it. We will put the two pieces together where they intertwine here as best I can. And then, see, can you see that? It's just a small amount, but that's a little bit higher. And I will just adjust that portion right there. Okay, so for that, I'm just going to use a piece of washi tape. Okay, and then we're going to flip it over. And actually, well, no. Because we're going to go over it with paper anyway. So maybe I should go all the way up to the top here. Okay, flip it back over and try to line that up a little bit right there. Okay, and we're going to go over that with paper so that will not show. Now, I'm thinking for this, I will score it. If you can see that, I'm going to score it across, flip that up, and I'll cut section accordingly how I want for pockets, and then I'll decide how I want this piece to fold, whether I want it to be a double, a triple, trifold, or even a quadruple. I don't know. Okay, so let's start there. Let's move this out of the way for the moment. Bring in my scoreboard and try to score this right there where that meets. And I could have done this prior, but like I said, I'm really not sure where I want to go with this yet. So let's see how I'm going to do this. I wonder if I set it like this. Score. Okay, then burnish that. That meets right up nicely. Okay. And this one can go. I can end up cutting this and flip this on the other way. I don't know yet, but we'll decide on that. Okay, so this is obviously going to be the middle. So we're going to line that up. Okay, we're going to use this as our middle. And just temporarily, so I have a guide, I am going to mark it with a marker, I think. I could use this pen here, it will work just as fine. Okay. Just so I know right where the middle is, until we cover that up, I need to know where the middle is. So I'm just going to put a little line right there. Because these pieces have to come in to that middle. Okay. So from here to here, I have 17 inches. So if I fold that into 3, it's almost 6 inches. Okay, so what I'm thinking, we need to have probably a good, I'm saying 1 inch. So this is our middle, so I need to have some guidelines here. So I'm going to come 1/2 inch from the left, and then a 1/2 inch, and that's going to give me a 1 inch spine. And again, that's going to get covered up, so that's not a problem. And we can score on those lines later. So then that will give me (17 1/4 inch basically. So if I divide that into 3, I get about 5.5 inches, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5. That would give me, what, 5, 10, 15, 16. Let's see what that would be. And I need a pencil so I can erase my tick marks if I need to. Let's see, so if we say 5.5, and then 5.5, and then 5.5, that'll give me about 2 inches left, but we also need to consider the folds. So I'm thinking the first one, the first fold line should be at 5.5. I think that's a good marker to start. I have to do it this way because my thing is on this side. And I'm not counting the tab. The tab is going to sit outside. Okay, so if we do, let's say 5.5 on the first one. Okay. Just gotta take this slowly, guys. So this first one, obviously we will need to cut this open. Okay, that will be our first fold. And we need to martyr that, of course, but we'll get that in a moment. So this will fold in. Like so. Well, see, if it folds in, then we got to take off that tab, don't we? So maybe this one can fold out then. So I want to keep the tab. Okay, so then the next one will fold in. So we need the next one at 5.5. So go 5.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Okay, and then we'll need to score and cut that score line. And that can be a pocket. Okay, so if this one folds this way, this one can fold this way. Go ahead and just for bulk, just cutting off a sliver. We're all familiar with that, I'm sure. Okay, and cut a little pinch off of this side. Just go ahead and do that now. Okay. That just gives us a little bit of room for the bulk, okay? get that down. Okay, so that will fold in. And then this is going to be our spine. So we need to cut that away right there. And I may have to adjust that some. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and score this one. Okay, we can cut that little bit, shave that piece away. Okay, so that will come into there. And I'm just cutting just a little bit to the inside of the score mark, again, to give room for the fold for the bulk. So now let's crease that piece, harden the, it's a big piece here I'm working with, pardon. Okay. Okay. Go that way, that one will go that way, that can go that way, that will go that way, and then this will come up, and go this way, okay? And then if I do this side the same way, the two will close up together, and then we'll do some type of closure, I'm thinking. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically 6 sides to this project, not counting all the other little flips and flaps and folds that we put in there. Okay, let's do that. So this first one is, it was 5.5 inches, right? Not counting the tab, so 5.5. And then 5.5. Let's see. All right, let's see what we've got here. So if we bring this one in, or actually that one's going to flip out to match the other side. And then this one will come in. Keep our ends lined up. Because definitely working with a file folder, like I said, no two are exactly alike. So you can get off, even if it's just by the smallest amount. By the time you're done with your project, it'll be kind of wonky. So you've got to really be careful as you go. Okay. Oh, and then we've got to score that one. Okay, one more score line for that. And I don't think I have to take it apart for this one, since it's already marked for me. I think that 1 inch should be enough, I'm hoping. hoping I gave myself enough room. Okay, so I just want to fold it on that score line. Line it up and burnish. Okay, so let's take a look at that. So this side we will not have pockets, this side we will then. At least the traditional pockets going up. Okay, so this will fold out, this one will fold in, this one will fold out, this one will fold in, and then up. And do they line up? And they do. Just right there, can you see that? Okay, so this is the shorter end. So obviously we'll make this our front then, huh? We have to make that our front, don't we? No, we gotta do it this way because our pockets. Okay, so let's get that positioned again. See what I mean? All right, so this is about a, okay, so I don't have it, it's about a 1/2 inch longer on one side than it is on the other. And that's obviously because I didn't come into count for the tab on that side. And I thought I did. Let me check my measuring. 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, and this one I have about 6. Okay, so how am I going to get around that without making more score lines? And let's see. All right, so this will come like that. So if we bring this one back this way, we can just adjust I don't know how I managed to do that, guys. All right, so what I'm going to have to do is, where's my pencil? I'm going to have to make some new score lines. And it's going to have to be, line it up with this side. Score line there. And I'm going to have to adjust my pockets as well. And then a score line there. So then that will match. And we may have to cut a little 1/2 inch off at the end. We'll see. I didn't want to lose my tabs, but let's readjust. It's okay. That's okay. We can adjust. So to get this straight, I think what I'm going to do is I will stop there. I will adjust my score lines, adjust my pockets, and kind of get a feel for how the layout's going to come and what the next layer is going to be, because I want to bring in some additional pages and flips and pieces using these, and we'll start from there on the next video, okay? Because I know it's probably getting a bit much seeing this big piece of paper flopping in the camera. But I will come through, I will adjust my pockets, score these, and figure out how I'm going to utilize these pieces in here. And hopefully we can get to start covering and designing and getting more of the layout done on the next video, okay? Well, I hope you follow along this series. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a beautiful project when we get done. And I will see you on the next video, okay? You guys take care. Bye-bye.